We've all heard the old saying about killing two birds with one stone. Well, how about catching two swarms of bees in one tree? Well, last night I was flying my drone just to check on the bees and make sure they were okay for the night. And as I made a little quick pass and rotated over to a tree that has a swarm box in it, I always want to catch my own bees if they swarm. And I knew that there was a swarm in that box, so I just looked over there and noticed what I saw in the tree. So not only do I have a big old swarm of bees inside that box waiting to be moved out of the tree, but there's a fresh, brand new swarm hanging way up high in that tree. Now that swarm is really high and it's going to be hard to get, so this is a perfect occasion for my bee vacuum. We've got a box in that tree that has a swarm in it. That box has a huge swarm in it, and up above we have a new swarm wanting to go somewhere. In spite of my best efforts to prevent my bees from swarming, there's just a lot of times nothing you can do. And those are all my hives over there, and I do hang swarm boxes near them just in case they swarm, and they do, and they have. So how the bee vacuum works is, this is actually a beehive, a bee box that's just got a vacuum top on the top. There's a hose. Of course, I'll pull it up and I'll get the bees. So they go in, and then there's a bottom board in there. There's a screen, so the bees get sucked in. There's a bottom board in there that can come out. That will slide out. This will slide out. And what I'll do is take the whole box and carry it and put it on top of a beehive, and then pull the bottom out. And then all the bees just go into the hive. The suction is just very slight, just enough to gently suck them down that hose and into the box. It's not a real powerful suction, and it does take a lot of time to get every little bee. With all of the bees successfully sucked into that box, it's time to put them on top of a beehive. I selected a real pretty box for these bees. Now inside that hive are frames of honeycomb that has already been drawn out and used by prior bees. And that's going to allow the queen to get in there and start laying eggs today. So I'm just going to gently set it on top. So you can see the bees in there through that screen. There's a lot of bees in there. And remember, there's that silver pan in the bottom. That will slide out and now allow bees free access into the hive. And by the end of the day, they'll all be in that hive, and I'll go and remove the vacuum box, and the bees will be so happy. We can't forget about the swarm box that has bees in it. That's the same tree our swarm came from. It's time to take that down and move them to a new location. I'm going to temporarily set them up there and let them reorient. Now, remember, if the bees fly out this morning, they're going to go to their old location. So I put a box around that. Now, as the bees come out, they'll be confused, and it will force them to reset their internal GPS so they know that's their new home. And before we leave, I'm going to hang another swarm box in its place. Oh, what an amazing day.